Yo, what is going on, Comfy Gang? It's your boy, Comfy NEET. As you guys may have noticed, I'm back at it again with the long hair. Enjoy it while it lasts because I'm gonna get a haircut. I don't know, maybe in the next few weeks. But anyways, today I kind of wanted to address, I guess, what exactly happened while I was, missing in action for quite a while, especially on Discord. And I kind of already briefly mentioned it, that I was depressed and because I firstly hurt my wrist, which stopped me from doing anything productive, which is kind of like my main cope with life. And then after that, because I was just like sitting down all the time and not really doing shit, my back started hurting, and that made me plummet into even deeper depression because, as I've already mentioned, I feel, I fractured my spine, my T7 vertebrae specifically, and that fucked me over. And this is a while back, maybe like a few years back. So during that time, that was probably the most depressed I've ever been. And ever since then, my back has never been fully the same. It's a lot better now. I don't have the weird like electric pains, or like I can actually like bend my back forward and backwards. Like during that time, like I can barely move my back, so I basically had to just like stay still. And then that was probably the most depressed time of my life, and my lower back started aching, and like I had sort of like similar like weird feelings in my lower back. So it just kind of made me paranoid and depressed that my back is fucked. It kind of like just brought back those emotions, those I guess, and those thoughts, those stories, those, I don't know, whatever, that those stories in my head that like I'm fucked and like my back is never gonna be the same. I'm basically disabled. I'm a cripple, and I'm never gonna not feel anything in my back ever again. You know how like when you're young and you basically don't feel shit in your back, but as you grow older and you stress your body out, then you start to you start to notice things aching, and then you kind of wish like you could go back in time and be in a state where your body basically doesn't feel anything. But I'm rambling. Because of this, I was really depressed, and so I was too depressed to really do anything, even go on Discord and interact with people. I had basically zero motivation, zero willpower, and this caused me to basically enter a LDAR, lay down and rot mode. I basically activated LDAR mode, and I basically became the most useless human being possible. All the self-improvement stuff, I'm not even that good at keeping consistent with a lot of things, but there are things that I do pretty consistently, like exercise and I guess kind of make videos, although I'm pretty inconsistent with that. But like I at least make like a little bit of music every day, and I practice a little bit of guitar. But all that basically went out the window, and all I was doing was watching television shows, watching movies, playing with my Switch, and playing this stupid gotcha game, like those games on your phone where you basically grind for resources to open loot boxes, and sometimes buy special in-game currency to get the loot boxes to get that like special character. But yeah, I played that a lot actually, and I was just playing all these games and just consuming and scrolling the internet and basically doing jack shit. And it kind of felt good for a little bit. It was definitely like a good escape from the pain And oh yeah, by the way, because I was depressed, I basically lost all willpower to control myself. So I fucking failed No Nut November 5 times. So I mean, that's pretty much out of the question now. But anyways, yeah, and it kind of made me feel a little bit better, because it was like, it kind of like helped me not focus on the back pain. And I guess like that rush of dopamine that you get when you're doing something that you find really comfy. Like I was doing basically a lot of the comfy activities, a lot of the things that I would probably do if I was a full-on lay down and rot type of NEET, and wasn't into the self-improvement stuff or trying to escape it. I was doing all that stuff, and yeah, I feel like the dopamine kind of has like a numbing effect. Maybe that's what it is, or maybe it's just the fact that your attention is so focused away from the thing that is making you feel bad that it's kind of like a temporary escape. But after a while, the nice feelings, they start to wear off. And it's not like drugs where it's like, for example, if you're not getting the same dose, you're not getting the same high, you can what's it called? You can just take like a higher dose of whatever the drug is, like weed, or I don't know, heroin, not that I've taken that or anything. I don't know, cocaine, I guess. And all these things. And with the internet and video games and media, I guess the only equivalent to that is, looking for novel stimuli, like for example, new movies of a different genre that maybe like a spin on a genre that you've never seen before, maybe a really well-written character, a well-written plot. Or if it's a video game, it's like, maybe it's like a hybrid genre that, you haven't played before, or maybe like something that you haven't like played in a while. Like for example, I was pretty much bored to death of JRPGs, but because I haven't played them for so long, I bought Dragon Quest 11 on the Switch, and it was nice for a little bit. It was nice like grinding and like for XP and like looking at like the cool animations and just immersing yourself in a world which is a lot nicer than, but not reflective of reality. And but eventually even that wore off because I got bored of that. And that's the thing, it's like there's only so much things you can really create in this world. There's only so many variations, and I feel like mankind is at the point, especially with the information age and the proliferation of all these different technologies, that we basically are nearing our zenith as a species, at least in terms of artistic creativity. Maybe more of that might be unlocked when things like AI come into play, and maybe like neural interfacing and how that will expand our brains. But basically what I'm trying to say is that there's only so much types of media that we can currently create. So basically pretty much every JRPG is pretty much the same when it comes down to it. Every MOBA, every battle royale game, every horror movie, every rom-com, every type of media is pretty much the same. So it just starts to get really boring, especially when you start to pick up on all of the underlying commonalities, all the underlying structures and patterns that are beneath all of the media that we consume. And so because of that, it just started to feel really boring, but you'd still get kind of that little bit of a dopamine hit by consuming. Well, I would, at least, while I was depressed, but it just wasn't doing it for me anymore. And well, because of that, it started to not really help me, and I started to feel really down again. I was just basically mindlessly consuming media just to keep me at a baseline of just being okay, and not obsessing over thoughts of how my back is fucked and how I'm gonna be disabled and how I'll probably never do all the things that I want to do, like all the MMA stuff, because like you can't really do MMA with like a bad back, because there's a lot of grappling and getting thrown on the mat and getting hit, getting kicked. But I guess thankfully, because of the vitamin pill, maybe because I don't know, also eventually, because I just felt so empty, I started to try and look for things that I eventually could have control over. And I guess taking my supplements was one, because I stopped taking those for a while. So taking that is one, and also just doing ab exercises, researching what could possibly be wrong with my lower back. And I eventually came across all the stuff about anterior pelvic tilt, which is where like your lower back is too tight because your glutes are weak and your lower abs are weak. So I started doing those exercises, and I don't know what it was, but my back pain started to get better little by little, or maybe I just learned to ignore it and went back to like my baseline of like emotional normalness. So because of that, I was able to slowly climb out of being depressed, and I'm still slightly depressed, but it's pretty much almost gone now. But yeah, I basically fell off the wagon completely and utterly. I was basically not doing anything for the past 2 or 3 weeks, anything productive, and I guess a lot of progress was lost, because consistency is pretty much key with anything. So yeah, I basically fell off the wagon pretty hard, and but I guess on a positive note, I'm trying to get back into this stuff, and I'm starting to get back to a lot of my, I guess, quote unquote, good habits. And I guess some people might be wondering why I even bother doing this stuff. Like, why bother when life is, I guess, meaningless? And, I do agree that it is meaningless, but at the end of the day, if you're able to fool yourself into thinking that things matter and it makes you feel less bad while you're alive, and that's if you're too afraid to kill yourself, which is basically 99% of people, because we're all slaves to our biology, our biological imperatives. So I am like that. I don't think I'll ever kill myself, because I'm too afraid of the pain, and I'm too afraid of not existing, even though that might be nice, who knows. But yeah, it's just my cope, I guess. And I do find that when I do try and do productive things, like make music or practice guitar or MMA, if I do that for a while, the comfy activities sort of regain their comfiness. Whereas if you just consume and consume and consume, then they sort of start to lose their luster, their enjoyableness. So I feel like it's kind of like striking that balance, I guess. Like, maybe I do this productive stuff so that the comfy activities, like watching video games, I'm watching TV, playing video games, are more comfy. But yeah, I guess I don't know where I was going with this. But yeah, I apologize for disappearing like that. I think I also came to a lot of realizations during this time that I'll probably be talking about, and also, I guess, like Legendary Comeback, he's another YouTuber. I'm pretty sure we have like a 90% overlap in our subscribers. But anyways, if you haven't checked him out, check out his what's it called, A Miserable NEET Life video, which is I guess he makes a lot of good points. I kind of watched it while I was on the verge of coming out of depression, and I think he makes a good point that like all you can really do is self-improve, I guess. I think it's probably the best cope, because as he mentions, like, what else can you really do apart from trying to improve yourself? Because I mean, I don't know, maybe it just works for people like us and for a certain subset of the population, but I mean, I don't know, why not try? Like, if life is meaningless, then you're free to create your own meaning. I guess I'll probably talk about this in another video. But yeah, anyways, I'm probably rambling, trying to keep the minute, what's it called? The video time short and concise. Also, I'm kind of tiring from talking because I haven't done this very consistently in a while, so I kind of have to like build up that endurance again, I guess, or whatever. But anyways, this is Comfy NEET signing out. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button down below if you enjoyed this content, and peace.